Well, big changes are coming to the SEC. A 9-game conference schedule is on the way. What does it mean for Mississippi State's path forward? We break it down next.
You are Locked On Mississippi State, your daily podcast on the Mississippi State Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, thanks for making Locked On Mississippi State your first listen every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bet now. My name is Jaron Spor. I'm a national college football writer at Athlon Sports. That's Landon, McBride. We've got some awesome football news.
Yep.
First off, we got breaking news to start the show, and then we got some SEC stadium rankings. USA Today does a great job putting those things out. Where does Davis-Wade Stadium rank? We'll talk about that. Then, of course, you know what it is. It's Friday, which means we give our next up in Starkville, which is what we're looking forward to over the weekend and into next week. But Landon, breaking news, the SEC finally passed the 9-game conference schedule. The crazy thing is this seemed like a foregone conclusion. It was going to happen. Then the SEC meetings happened, and it was like, okay, is it going to happen? and then out of nowhere, it was tweeted by Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports, I believe, is the first one who tweeted it out, which I think he's part of On3 also now. And he was like, hey, this is starting to gain traction. And then boom, official. They're moving to a 9-game conference schedule. And for those that don't know, this is how it's going to work. You're going to have 9 conference games. One of those games, I believe, or 3 of those games, are going to be against fixed opponents. So you'll play those same opponents every single season. Then one of your non-conference games has to be against another group of 4 conference. So I know a lot of people are worried, are the interconference rivalries going to go away? You know, Georgia plays Georgia Tech. Things like are those going to go away? Clemson plays South Carolina. Theoretically, they don't have to go away. It could just always be that's your power 4, which I think will make scheduling easier for those teams personally. You don't have to find another power 4 opponent. The other ones can be group of 5 or FCS or whatever. But now all the other conferences can shut up. It's done. They've gone to 9. And now we just need what? ACC. Aren't they the other one that are 8? They need to go to 9 now. They got to get on board. Let's put all the hate towards them.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And it's finally time this has happened with how long this drug out. I mean, like you mentioned it, this was a foregone conclusion, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. So the fact that it's finally done is good. It will be interesting to see what happens because, you know, we've talked about it before. All these games are scheduled, 8 years out, like your non-conference games. So exactly how they start shifting. If you see some that were scheduled 8 years ago, now bumped up, some bumped back, some that are canceled altogether, that's going to be the interesting news that comes out of the next, month or so is kind of what we see changing from a future.
And who is going to be Mississippi State opponents? We know for a fact, Ole Miss one of them. Who else? Alabama, LSU, you kind of have, I don't want to call it a rivalry, but it's at least somewhat like it's a mini rivalry, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, I'd say LSU for sure, but whoever the other team was.
But on the flip side, that's a brutal 3 opponents. You know what I mean? Like you would think they would get one or maybe one like kind of easy team, and I know people are going to say Mississippi State's easy team. I get it.
Vanderbilt is our big rival.
But it's just it really will all depend on how all the schools go. Like some of them, are fixed. OU will play Texas and vice versa. That's going to happen. Alabama will play Auburn. Alabama's probably playing Tennessee too, because that's a big rivalry. Tennessee is going to play. Think about this, because Tennessee actually has 3 big rivals I just thought of. They'll have Georgia, Florida, and Alabama.
Yep.
That's their 3. It's going to be fixed. And then Florida, on the other hand, they'll have Tennessee and Georgia, and then, we'll see who their other one is. But, yeah, for Mississippi State, it'll be interesting to see because Ole Miss, I believe, will be 1. Obviously will be 1.
Yeah, you would think LSU is 2.
LSU? Auburn? Like, are you going to do it with someone close? Are you going to go Kentucky, like someone a little farther away, or South Carolina?
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to go about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that other one's going to be, but I feel like we know 2 of the 3. And then just how the SEC chooses to rotate those other 6 games is also going to be interesting because they got rid of the whole division thing, and that used to be the thing. You swapped between the division. So now it's going to have to be some kind of rotation. And you see this stuff all the time about like how Georgia has never gone to Texas A&M, and Texas A&M's been in the conference for like 10 years, whatever it is.
2012.
Now.
2012. So almost 15 years.
15 years. I'm bad at math.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
So they're going to have to figure out that rotation to keep things like that from happening, or everyone's going to have some very lopsided schedules, especially if you have 3 rivals like Tennessee does. So like it's about time this happened, but now the logistics are what's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Mississippi State's future schedule. And next year you have a conflict because you got 4 opponents scheduled, but you have your Power 4 in Minnesota, at Minnesota. Tennessee Tech, Troy, and ULM, you're going to have to cancel one of those. And that sucks for those schools because they make good money by coming to Mississippi State to play that game. After that, Mississippi State's set because remember, 2026, that's when it'll go into effect. But 2027, they have 3 opponents, one's a Power 4. 2028, 3 opponents, one's a Power 4. 2029, they have 1 Power 4 opponent, and then they have Memphis, so they'll have to schedule another one. 2030 is an interesting one, though. Because right now, Washington State is not a Power 4 opponent. And they have 3 opponents scheduled. And none of them are Power 4 opponents. So either they have to hope like some more realignment happens.
Yeah.
Or they got to cancel one of those games, which would probably be Tulane or Washington. Maybe it's Washington State. And find a Power 4 opponent. And the same goes, 2031, they only have 2. But Washington State is that one. It's a home and home. So maybe you schedule your Power 4 for that one, but they're at least set. Like obviously, like I said, they got to cancel 1 game this year or this upcoming year in 2026. After that, they're set in 27 and 28. They got to add a team in 29. Maybe you say, hey, Tulane, instead of coming in 2030, come in 2029, and then you replace Tulane there.
Yeah.
Or maybe you say, hey, Washington State, instead of doing back-to-back, why don't you come in 2029? We'll have a break. So we can schedule a Power 4 opponent, and then we'll go to you in 2031 and also schedule another Power 4 opponent. Something like that would work. But there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. And after doing a little quick research, I think Bama is going to be the 3rd SEC game. I mean, they've played every year since 1948. So I feel like they will probably choose to keep that going unless, Alabama throws some weight around and chooses another opponent because they probably get to call their shots despite what people would have them, besides what people say. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, that's just kind of where we're falling now. Like, it's time for this to happen. No more mid-season FCS breaks for some teams. So that's no more minute weeks, which, I mean,
I guess you could schedule one of those mid-break. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad decision because one of the hesitations to doing the 9-game was playing 9 straight SEC teams. It's not a bad choice to throw in that one. As a fan, we're going to hate it because we hate having that week where it's like all these games are all these other teams playing great games. Who are the SEC playing? Like I want to see Bama play or Georgia or Mississippi State or whoever. Oh, they're playing that team. So it sucks as for a fan, but I can see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad move strategically as a coach, athletic director, move up your first SEC game to week 2 and then put one of those weaker opponents later in the season to give your guys a little bit of a breather and maybe, work on a few things late in the season. So there's going to be a lot of news coming out of this. Now that we know what's happening, now it's going to be, how does it work? What changed? What didn't change? Who are the 3, everyone's 3 rivals going to be? Because some are easy, some who knows who those, like Texas and OU, they're rivals with each other. And that's really about where Texas then has A&M, of course. But
you know what I just realized?
What?
We said Tennessee has their schedule fixed because they got Georgia, who's a rival, Florida, who's a rival, Alabama, who's a rival. Vanderbilt's a rival.
Oh,
and a big rival for them.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? They got to cut one of their rivals out.
That's going to be interesting. And then you got to see who.
I think if you cut one, it's probably. I don't know which one's bigger, Alabama or is it Florida? I would assume Alabama's bigger, but
I think Florida is bigger to people who are in it, but the Bama one's bigger.
The funny thing is, we posted that clip about Auburn and Alabama, and it's blown up on Instagram, especially. But there was some Alabama fans who have talked about Tennessee being their bigger rival than Auburn, and Nick's, and one of them sent like a quote from Nick Saban talking about it. Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting one. Like they have an actual dilemma because they got maybe Georgia's not as big of a rival as we think they are for Tennessee or something. I don't know, but that one's going to be – I'm sorry, we went off a tangent on Tennessee in a Mississippi State podcast, but it was just – I don't know what they're going to end up doing. But, I'm curious what Mississippi State does. I would like them to play Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. Or Ole Miss, Kentucky, and Arkansas. Something like that. Yeah, like that. Unless John Gruden becomes the coach in Arkansas.
And I'm also interested to see what they do with OU. Because, I mean, one game's going to be against Texas, but who are their other two rivals? I mean, what
Missouri has always called themselves a rival because back in the Big 8 days and stuff. So I can see Missouri.
Yeah.
Do they bring A&M?
Maybe
as
A&M just to keep the
or Arkansas because Arkansas is close, but I think Arkansas is going to be one of Texas's main ones. So
they'll be Texas and A&M, and then someone else.
Yeah,
LSU.
Right. All right. Coming up next, we got to talk about the SEC stadium rankings. USA Today put it out. Where does Davis Wade Stadium rank? We'll talk about it. Well, August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions, so whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before Week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So take a flyer on the MVP race. I've said it. I really like Joe Burrow with the Cincinnati Bengals. Reason why, the defense is terrible, so if they're going to win any games, they're going to put up a lot of points, and he's going to throw for a lot of yards. I could see them squeaking into the playoff and him have a monster season and get it. To crown my champion already, I'm going with the Ravens. I think they completely have the best roster. I can't remember what ranking it was, but they had a top 3 position group. Like every group was top 3. And they were ranked as the number 1 overall roster. It's up to Lamar to get it done because Harbaugh's obviously won one. So it's up to Lamar to get it done. My division winner dark horse, I'm going Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Maybe he can lead them to a divisional win. Anytime the NFC East, you're like, this team's going to win it. Feels like that team never does win it. So maybe Dallas can pull it off. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bet now because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Well, thanks for making Locked On Mississippi State your first listen every single day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, so USA Today put out their SEC stadium rankings. Again, USA Today does a great job putting out this kind of stuff. Number 1 was the Swamp. Can't argue it. That's a great stadium. I want to go see a game there. I don't even care if Mississippi State's playing. I just want to see a game there.
Yeah.
Tiger Stadium, number 2, LSU. Again, makes a lot of sense.
Night game at LSU is on my bucket list of things I want to get to.
Neyland Stadium, that's one I want to see.
Yeah, me too.
Good old Rocky Top. Bryant Denny Stadium is number 4. Sanford Stadium is number 5, obviously Georgia. Williams-Brice Stadium, South Carolina, number 6. Kyle Field, number 7. I thought they were going to overrate Kyle Field, so glad that they put them down the list. Yeah. Jordan-Hare Stadium, Auburn, number 8. Gaylord Family, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, number 9. Obviously, Oklahoma has they're a weird one because they have a really nice stadium, and it was one of the bigger ones in the Big 12, but it's one of the smaller ones in the SEC, and I think it gets knocked for that one. Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium, that's another one that's like a massive stadium. So I'm kind of surprised that it's down this low. But later that I've talked about it, there's not much home field advantage there. Really, not a good
atmosphere.
I don't know how to pronounce Missouri's field. Ferret. We'll go with that. Ferret Field, number 11.
This is actually finding out their field has a name.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone call Missouri's field its name. But Davis Wade Stadium is number 12, and it says, when Mississippi State fans get their cowbells clanging at full force, it sounds like a swarm of locusts has descended upon the stadium, allowing a venue with a capacity of 60,311 to buzz beyond its size. The only teams lower than them are Arkansas, Ole Miss, beat Ole Miss, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's kind of where you expect. I mean, I would have hoped for a couple spots higher, mostly because I've been to a Texas game, so I would rank them closer to the bottom than where they have them. But I mean, it's kind of where you expect, and it's hard to rate one. And I know this is not just based off of last season. This is, this guy's, I forgot the author's name, I just read it, who did all of this. He's been to a lot of games at all these most stadiums. So he's not just doing it off last year, but when the team hasn't really had a reason to just get the crowd fired up, you're going to take a little bit of a hit. So I could see that being part of it too, because again, it's not bad. And when you're, a little over 60,000, it's hard to,
it's hard to be up there.
Beat these 120,000 seat stadiums. So it's, it's about right. I'd hope for a couple spots higher, but it's, you're not last, and you definitely should not be. So
yeah, I'd put it over Missouri. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Never been to a game there, but what I've seen on TV, I'm not super impressed. So
I'm about to say, and I know some people will say, hey, you can't judge it off of TV. And so I get that. And that's a fair statement. Like, I'm not arguing that. It's not impressive on TV. It's not. Even at least Davis Wade Stadium, and maybe it's because of the cowbells and the, the aura around the cowbell. But Missouri's field sucks so much that they had to put a giant logo in the end zone because they couldn't fill it. That's my hot take. They had to put a giant logo and grass field in the end zone, which would be great seats, because they can't fill it. Yeah. Right there, you're disqualified. Move you down.
Yeah, that's fair. And I was talking about people that should be higher than. Then it's like, Texas earns a reputation for having a bit of a wine and cheese crowd. Yeah, they are. That's what it is. So, I mean, I'd bump them down too. I think that's where I think Davis Wade should be, is at 10 above those two. I mean, it's just right in the middle. I mean, the best of the stadiums that aren't the monstrous stadiums.
Right. And another thing they noted on the Missouri one, they've won 60% of their home games since joining the SEC. And it said, if the team is good, the crowd is good. Well, that already knocks you. That knocks you right there.
That's every team.
My opinion. Yeah, I mean,
that means you have a bad fan base.
Why don't we, when I'm judging, first off, when you're judging stadiums, you can't just judge the crowd. You have to actually judge the stadium. But if we're throwing in the crowd too, put Missouri's crowd at their best, put Mississippi State's crowd at their best. Who's better? Mississippi State. Especially with the cowbell. Like, no, it's not close.
Yeah, this is solely off of stadium itself. Then Darrell Cade Royal should be higher. It is one of the nicer stadiums I have ever attended, but it was also one of the worst game day experiences I have ever been around. So, I mean, it's again, we're kind of sitting at this point like, well, what's the criteria? Is it crowd? Is it stadium amenities? What is it that they're ranking? So, I mean, but again, we're kind of in the ballpark of the right place.
Yeah, for sure. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to most in Starkville. Don't go anywhere.
Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them, but you're looking for something beyond the usual pill. It's time to meet Rugiet Ready. Rugiet Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast. On average, in 15 minutes, and effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. If traditional options haven't worked, Rugiet might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch, and it's completely online. Rugiet connects you with a board-certified doctor and ships your treatment discreetly to your door. And you can even read real customer reviews on their site. It's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment. So head to rugiet.com/lockedoncollege and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get 15% off today. That's RUGIET.com/lockedoncollege and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information.
Well, thanks for making Locked On Mississippi State your first listen every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. All right, Landon, what are you looking forward to?
Well, it's not Starkville first, one of mine. Football's back. We can actually watch some college football this weekend. But Bulldogs related, we're going to get that first depth chart. Some of these battles that we have been waiting for, that we've been talking about for months, we're going to get answers, at least the first batch of answers. Now, that might change after how some of these guys perform in the first game. But we're finally going to see who had the upper hand through all these practices along that offensive line, kind of that number 2 corner position, some of the linebackers, defensive line. We're going to see who the starters are going to be, and that's exciting.
Yeah, I felt really stupid doing this segment, even though we do it every Friday. And I felt really stupid asking people, hey, what are you looking forward to most? Because it's football. We're back. Like, not only do you have it this weekend, I know Mississippi State's not playing this weekend. I don't care. I'll watch any football out there.
Yeah.
Except for preseason. I don't care about preseason.
No, I used to watch.
I used to watch preseason when I would care about it, but I don't really care about it anymore. Football's back. We get college football. We get Farmageddon in Ireland. Like, I'm excited about that.
Farmageddon.
Yeah. And then next week, you mentioned the depth charge. Looking forward to that. You got your first press conferences, game week press conferences with Jeff Levy, which we'll have great coverage on that. So you have to wait for that.
Yes.
Like, football's back. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What we are excited about?
We're so back.
Yeah, we are so back. Like, all the offseason, Mississippi State gets told how terrible they are. The whole offseason, you're bad. You're gonna go, 2-10. We talked about it yesterday with David Pollock's comment. You're going 2-10 again. Jeff Levy on the hot seat. He's gonna be gone. Football's back. We're gonna prove all that wrong. That's why I'm excited, not just for this weekend, but also for the week ahead. Also, you should have player interviews. They usually have those, and you can kind of talk about that. I'm just ready. And for you guys that have been listening to us, or for a long time, or just now listening to us, Landon and I have come up with a full content calendar for football season. What we're going to do every single day for you guys to break down what is happening, and we're really excited to unleash that. Won't be unleashed next week just because it's based off of after a game has happened.
Reviews,
well, at least like Monday is. So we'll unleash at least the rest of the content calendar next week, but not Mondays, obviously, because we can't recap a game. I guess you could recap Farmageddon or something, but no, we can't recap a game. So we're really excited about that. We spent a lot of time figuring that out, and so we're amped for that. But yeah, football's back. I can't be more excited.
I'm excited for us. We picked up this podcast. We took it over right as Sweet 16 started, and then we had the dead period. We had, and now we
had some baseball and obviously the coaching search and stuff.
We had some stuff, but now we actually get an extended period of time with on-field product to talk about. It is exciting. So I'm excited to cover the team for this year. It's going to be fun.
And to let y'all know, the funny thing is our bosses here told us when we took it over, we're sorry that this is the time you have to take or you are taking this over, because and it's not just it's not like a Mississippi State thing just for people out there. It's all of college sports. It just hits a dead period around March, and you just don't get a lot of interaction and things like that. And so it's really hard to build a channel up, and especially this channel had been dormant for maybe 2 years, I think, when we took over. Yeah, and so it was already going to be a little harder to build it up already. But thanks to you guys, we have, and we've done a great job at that, and it's all thanks to you guys.
Yes.
Telling your friends and things like that. 813 subscribers right now. Remember, our goal is at 1,000 by early college football season. We're going to hit that real quick, I think.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've been adding at least 100 a week the last couple of weeks.
These last couple of weeks have been crazy with how fast it's gone up. So thank all of you who have subscribed and started listening. It's been
thank you. And our bosses even talked about, y'all get a lot of comments. Y'all get a lot of interaction. Y'all are one of the top ones in the SEC and when it comes to that stuff. And that's all because of you guys. So thank you guys so much for that.
We want to keep hearing.
Keep it up, because we got some fun football stuff.
Also, one more thing, I ask for y'all's help. I'm in a college fantasy football league.
There we go.
So y'all give me some guys I should draft.
Yeah, Isaac Smith, the first one. If you get defense, I don't know if you're doing a defense.
Full defense, and
okay.
Yeah. So
some of the drafts do a defensive player, so I wasn't sure if you were doing a defensive player.
Fluff is on my board, but
get Fluff. Definitely get Fluff and get Booth and Blake Shapen and Traore and just line it up. Now, Thank you guys so much for making Locked On Mississippi State your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. My name is Jaron. Check out my work over at Athlon Sports. That's Landon. Follow us, Locked On Mississippi State. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We post daily videos Monday through Friday, so check those out. Also hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell. We just told you about our content calendar. A lot of really exciting stuff coming up once the football season gets here, which is this weekend.
It's here.
It's here. So thank you guys for all your support up to this point, and can't wait. It's going to be a fun ride. And until next time, Hail State.
Hail State.